Can you guys hear me? Oh, it looks like you're on mute, maybe.
We don't want anybody to get confused because they can't hear us.
There you go. All right.
I should have got on earlier so that they wouldn't have been muted the whole time.
How are you guys?
So, Jake, we're good. We're just all uh, really concerned about what's happening with these two bills. Can you
Yeah.
sum up? Basically, my impression, tell me if I'm wrong, is that 1315 is kind of dead in the water and 270 got amended with part of 1315. Can you explain what's happening?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm not on the committee, so I've been tracking this just kind of solo here, but it looks like they took 270 and the point system, which is it's fairly complicated. Did you guys go through that at all? The point system
We
in
are
there?
aware of it.
Okay.
They were still tweaking it last time, Jake, so we're kind of waiting to see what the final system is. Points on.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is it's up for second readings on Monday. So Monday's our second reading deadline. So the whole House can amend a bill on second readings. So as a non-committee member, I could file an amendment on the bill. And I may just do that. I don't know, I don't know what I would do, but I voted against 1315. I'm not sure that I would support this bill either in its current form, and I don't know how much it's going to move. But so currently, the way it stands is basically if you get 4 points or more, you're a designated township, and then you've got to merge, right? And there's a contiguity factor in there that it has to be a contiguous township, obviously. I tried to clarify with our policy team today whether that could cross county lines, and I'm not sure if it can or not. They assume that, or they think that it does, it's because there's nothing there that says that they can't. But I think that if that's the intent of the legislature, it should clearly state that. So again, 4 points is a designated township. If you've got basically if you haven't get any township assistance in 2023 and 24, then you get 2 points. 1 point if you don't actively manage fire and EMS, right? So Olive is obviously not affected, but Hudson may be in that regard. Right now, it's a point if you're missing your annual finance report, but that's up to 2 points max. So because that's if you missed your annual finance report on 23 or 24. And then 1 point per year missing required monthly upload reports. That's again 24, 25. So you're up to 2 points there. If your 2023 budget was continued, essentially, if you didn't have a certified budget in 23, or if you didn't have a certified budget in 24, if your township assistance applications were less than 24, that's a point. And if you don't have if your certified budget in 2025 is less than $100,000, and then if you have a vacancy in your trustee's position or a township board, a vacancy for 30 days or longer, those are each a point as well. So I'm not sure again how Hudson stacks up in those. It was explained to me that today that the territory would not dissolve. I'm trying to figure out how that would work if you had, for instance, right, if Hudson was forced to merge and decided to merge with the township to the west, I'm struggling to see how they would not then fall under the fire protection that is afforded that township. But again, I'm still trying to work through the technicalities here.
He's volunteer.
So they're
And the key is
volunteer.
to the west.
He's
Yeah.
volunteer.
Okay. The only they kept saying that they came to a compromise and merged pieces of 1315 into 270. The only thing that I can tell from the bill that actually carried over from 1315 was the coterminous language. So essentially, if you're a designated township, but you are 80% within a city, right, a municipality, and that 51% of the township residents live in that municipality, then it would be the city would absorb it essentially. So again, I'm kind of trying to study up on this as much as I can, see if there's any ways that we could amend it to make it better, on Monday, but that's kind of what I know right now.
So the gist of it is all these different items that get points assigned to them. If you have over 4 points, then you are likely to be merged, correct?
Correct. Yeah, and it's
And-
not a rolling thing, so it's basically a snapshot in time, going back, basically they're looking at data from 23 up to 25, right, to calculate these points. And if you score 4 or more in that time frame, then you would merge with a contiguous township. And then there's some different provisions. Essentially, if a whole county has townships that score 4 or more, then the county executive kind of decides where things go. And so it's really this complicated process. There's an appeals process that if you feel like you weren't scored fairly, you could appeal. There's just a lot going on there.
If this passes, will it go into effect immediately, or is there a year to
So-
figure it out, or?
So there's the timeline is actually none of this would have to happen until DLGF wouldn't issue their final determinations, their designated township designations would come out by the end of the year. The townships could appeal those to DLGF by March 31st of 27. So they'll have essentially 3 months to decide, hey, we feel like we were scored incorrectly. And so we would appeal this. And then DLGF would issue their final, I'm looking at the timeline here, final determination on June 30th of 27. And then basically from that point, there's a joint board formed, and there's a plan of reorganization. And then in 2028, there would be elections, I think is how it goes, right? So in 28, those elections would happen for that kind of reorganized township. So again, it gets pretty complicated, but that's the timeline. So again, it would be by the end of 26, DLGF would get the points assigned, and then townships would have until the end of March of 27 to appeal that.
So go ahead.
So Jake, let's say hypothetically that Hudson's ordered they have to merge. Who decides who they're merging with?
Well,
Who makes that decision?
That's so, my understanding, again, looking at the bill, it's the township that would be a designated township. So Hudson would pass a resolution, right? Saying, hey, we want to merge with Olive, or if they wanted to go Kankakee or, whatever. Then Olive would have to pass a essentially similar or identical resolution, agreeing to absorb that township.
So Hudson would have to say, we want Kankakee, and Kankakee would have to say, we want Hudson.
Correct. Yes.
And if they don't do that?
Well, if nobody wants Hudson, then what happens?
Yeah.
Well, that's right. So then,
There you go.
exactly.
That's not gonna happen.
Just saying.
It's not gonna happen, yeah. So that's that's contemplated in the bill, and I think then it says the county executive would then step in. So, but again, then we'd be talking about, even though we're talking about 2 different counties here, right? So we'd be talking about the LaPorte County executive that would step in for Hudson, and hold public meetings, and then they would adopt a resolution essentially saying which townships would merge, right? So essentially, if there's no agreement from township to township, then the county is going to step in.
LaPorte County executive being the county commissioners?
Well, so in St. Joe County, the executive is the county commissioners. In LaPorte County and most Indiana counties, 89 out of Indiana's 92 counties, the council is actually the executive. So St. Joe,
Council.
Lake, Yes. St. Joe, Lake, and Marion are the only ones that that have different executives. For St. Joe and Lake, it's the commissioners, and for Marion, obviously, it's the mayor of Indianapolis.
So Hudson then has to get with, they say you have to merge, DLGF says you have to merge. And they have to either find somebody or the LaPorte County Council tells them who they're merging with. Is that the gist of it?
Yes,
Basically.
that is my understanding as the bill states today. Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, it sounds like something is gonna get passed. So if you would, when that happens, maybe spend some time and ask questions and get the facts. You can see it. We're basically interested in what's happening to Hudson Lake. We think Olive and Nicolai are gonna be together. That's the, so if you can maybe kind of look into that a little bit, figure it out, month or two. I mean, there's no big hurry at this point on it, I don't think. And get back with us. We'll do it again in another meeting in a couple
Jake?
of
I
months.
have some
maybe.
questions.
Yeah,
Jake, so kind of looking backwards instead of forwards because it's still hypothetical at this point. Who decided this would be a good idea in the first place?
It's a great
That's
question.
what I want to know.
Yeah. So, I mean, the township consolidation question, that's been around, since the Kernan Shepherd report from the early 2000s. So, I mean, the conversation's not new. This point scoring thing is new, right? And that was born out of the Senate. The House's version 1315, which again, I didn't support, but that had, in my mind, a much simpler calculation, right? You're 6,700 or less residents. You've got, either you're providing fire or not providing fire, and your township assistance is at least half of your salaries for the county. This is super complicated in my mind, this whole point system thing. So I think but this was the Senate bill, and not much of the House bill ended up in that yet. We'll see what happens on Monday.
Do you have any idea where Hudson Lake falls in on the points?
I don't. I have, again, I have our,
Oh, okay, that's, okay, Josh has already.
We've already kind
policy
of run that, at least through AI to see.
Yeah. What's the chances, Jake, that this whole thing just dies?
that the whole thing dies.
Slim?
Well, I mean, a version of it got out of the House and a version of it got out of the Senate. My understanding is this is a compromise between the bill authors and kind of the folks that have been working closely on them. But anything could happen, right? We get to caucus next week on, so the bill goes to second readings. It could be amended differently, and that throws the Senate into a tizzy. And then, the House so next week is really the where, I mean, the rubber hits the road, right? So they're gonna have to decide whether, we send a bill back to the Senate, they're gonna have to either concur on that. So they say we agree with the changes that the House made, or they would dissent on it. If they dissent on it, it gets thrown into conference committee. We're gonna have a much shorter time for conference committee this year than we typically do because we shaved off 2 weeks on the back end of the session. And so, I think if it gets to next Thursday and they don't have a solid deal on this thing worked out and have a majority of both chambers on board, then I think it's in rough shape with regard to surviving. So, I would put it at this point 50-50.
But it has to pass by Tuesday, right? Is that
No,
what I-
well, it has to pass the House by Tuesday, correct?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes. So, but again, if the House passes, which this would be the timeline, right? So if the House will have it on second readings on Monday. It can be amended on Monday. I believe it will be. I talked to Elena Schonkweiler earlier today. I know she was working on some amendments. I know other folks were working on amendments. So my guess is it's going to go through more changes on Monday. And then it'd be up for a third reading vote on Tuesday where it would pass out of the House. Well, that leaves Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because we're going to adjourn Sunny Die at some point on Friday, where the Senate either has to concur or dissent and send it into a conference committee. So not a lot of time, for this thing to be coming together here. If I had my druthers, we would just punt, and if they want to take this up, we could do it in a long session, study it over the summer, whatever. But this is we're in Indy for 2 months this year, and everything's moving fast, and this is really complicated stuff. So
I got something else to say. So I'm the weird guy because I'm in Hudson Township and I'm on the Hudson Township Board. So it's really going to affect myself and my neighbors. I read something that Jim Pressel had written recently, and I am a registered Republican and have been all my life. But here's what Jim Pressel said: reduce the size of government by combining, eliminating, or streamlining dozens of redundant or inactive boards and commissions. I've never seen Jim Pressel at one of my Hudson Township board meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
So how does he know what's active and inactive?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
I do.
So-
Yeah.
Reduce the size of government. To me, that's not reducing the size of government. You're taking away from small localized government. You're mixing a bunch of people in with less people to monitor it, and you're going to lose things in that.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily, I don't disagree with you. I think that, the overall, if you look back at the current Shepherd report, right, the overall philosophy is, hey, what services are being offered at this level of government, and could they be more efficiently done by a different level, right? Like, are we paying salaries for elected officials that essentially that's what these point systems are getting at, right? Are we paying salaries for elected officials that aren't giving out assistance and aren't providing fire, kind of thing? But again, I think in my mind, we're now saying we're gonna penalize local units for being responsible with their money. I mean, if you have folks that come and don't meet the qualifications to receive assistance, then you absolutely shouldn't be giving them assistance, right? And if the best interest of your taxpayers to not be the primary provider of fire, but to merge with another township and create a territory where another township is the primary provider, then again, that should not be penalized. And so that's why I'm really struggling with a lot of this.
Good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jake. Once we get something final, we'll have you back.
Yeah, and stay in touch. Next week, everything's going to move really quick. So, Tim, or if anybody else wants to, text is probably best, because if I'm on the floor, or in committee, something like that, I can respond to a text fairly easily. But let's stay in touch on it. That way, like I said, things are going to change pretty rapidly next week, and we'll know by Friday one way or the other. So,
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
all right,
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jake.
See ya.
How do you feel about LaPorte County?
Like I said, if you ask me, they're not making government smaller, they're making it bigger. I'm a very small government guy, and I think they're by doing this, like I said, they're gonna have a bigger area with less representatives in that larger area, and things get dissolved, and you miss things, you lose things. And like I said, I've never seen Jim Pressel out in my Hudson Township meetings to see the great things we've done in Hudson Township and the money we have in our bank. So I didn't appreciate what he said.
I have a quick conversation. Clint Weisenberger's father-in-law is Jim Hollifield.
Blint. Blint.
Well, there's a Jim Hollifield was principal at the middle school.
Yeah, it's Ally's
Father-in-law.
father-in-law.
Yeah.
So I wanted his opinion. What do you think that LaPorte's going to do? And he said their internal plan, and he's a commissioner, I think, so I don't know that it's up to him, but is to put, what did I say, Johnson Township, Wills Township,
Wills and
Hudson, and Lincoln together, which is kind of a vast stretch of, because again,
That's what I'm saying.
Where's that all?
Lincoln, I don't know
Lincoln.
of the fire
Lincoln's like a long enough.
of those fire departments. Johnson.
We have 300 boards now, and what's gonna happen, I know what's gonna happen, is be able to take one from each old township, so there'll only be 4 instead of 12, right?
It's sad. I mean, I look at, you're being penalized, like Jake said, you're being penalized for not giving out assistance. Well, if nobody needed assistance,
Yeah.
then
That's kind of the goal.
that's the goal. I mean, you want, and to wait at 2 points, I mean, what we did is we took all the stats, the criteria that it currently says, ran it through AI, and Hudson was in jeopardy. That's now,
And we looked up the reports on Gateway.
yeah, we had just kind of dug through that. The other piece though is that what we had heard of one of the amendments, and I don't know if it got booted or what.
The
but
tax one?
no, they were given some extra time so that you could voluntarily merge in an interim. So if you said, oh, we want to merge with Wills or we want to merge with Galena or whatever, because these are our neighbors, you could do that before the timeline and then it takes you out of that mess. So you could do it at your own.
Oh, they're giving us, yeah.
So instead of,
Isn't that nice?
right, we're gonna hold a gun to your head and
Right, right.
Can they merge with
pick
Neutral
A or
Iowa?
B.
You
No,
can do it
because
this
the
way or we can
town,
do it
that's
this
it's a separate government type. The town would have to annex, which I don't think that the town could annex.
So this bill is incentivizing not giving out or incentivizing giving out aid.
The,
Well,
the blinders on are that they're not doing anything. We're paying Dave a wage to do nothing. We know that's not true. I mean, you know, his time is worth something. He's coming to meetings. He's given us great input. He's helped build this fire territory, right? That's, I don't.
But I mean, if you can be proactive with it, if it looks like it's coming down the, you know, which we'll know here in a week or two. I mean, do we, you know, merge Olive and Hudson? Because nothing stops you guys from being then. You'd have every right to be on the board as you are now.
So you're saying Olive and Hudson could merge?
Can Olive?
In its current version, that's what he said. I just don't.
Well, he said
He
it
said it
doesn't,
doesn't say,
it doesn't
It
say
doesn't
that you can't.
Because of the county line.
which is good as saying that you can.
Right, but how the
Hopefully.
taxes flow, that's, you have one township, right? Township taxes go
Well,
somewhere.
we've already done it with the we do it for the territory. It's not that big of a, and we're already set up for it. We've already got that set up to where we cross county lines already with the territory.
So we'll be digging into for sure. I mean, that might be the way to go then if we can
Yeah.
proactively do it.
So the thing I'm really watching, I was hoping he'd have more information on, which he didn't, was if you're forced to, I'm just making up, now. If you're forced to merge with Kankakee and Wills, the way I understand the bill is they are now part of our fire territory, just like that. So, how
will they be
does,
part
They
of
would
our
be
territory?
part of it?
yeah, because we would still be, the fire territories are not affected per se. If Hudson suddenly becomes if they're the main unit, if they're the provider, if they're the center unit of the new township, it's now Hudson, Big Hudson instead of Little Hudson. You know,
Oh,
So
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
saying that they wouldn't be actually taking away that township or renaming that township or expanding the borders of that township? It's just,
they're making it big.
it's almost like a provider unit for
yes,
those.
that's a good way of looking
It's
at
a
it.
provider unit for all 2 or 3 of these townships.
Right, all the bills keep referring to one, like, center township in the middle of it. And what you said was correct. If they merge those 3, and they said Hudson's still the main one, you keep your 3 board members and Wilson gets 1 and Kankakee gets 1. You know, until the next election. So,
All right.
so that was my concern, is what happens all of a sudden our territory becomes twice as big.
And yeah, and then if
Yeah.
we're talking Lincoln, then we've got Fish Lake Fire Department.
At least, I mean,
Which they have a volunteer station.
yeah,
If they had.
yeah, those guys aren't going out without, I'm just telling you, it's gonna get
But
ugly.
if they were forced to merge with us, then I don't know if their volunteer department would be able to, if they would be able to still run.
There's a lot of moving.
Yeah, there
pieces.
are. Here's one
Guess
other
we'll know
thing to
a few
it. I
answers maybe by the end of next week.
talked to Keith the other day, so at the post office, he had an idea. He said, the fire station, because there's been some banner back and forth, like maybe we should build it more this direction for Hudson Lake or possibly down in North Liberty area or whatever. Doesn't it have to be in the IEC since it's paid for by TIF money?
Yes.
So it's gotta be out there. So there's not much of a debate
The
anymore.
county's not gonna put a new fire station in LaPorte County.
Yeah, well, or anywhere other, it has to be in the tip, you would think, since that's the money they're using, correct?
TIF, or it has to service the TIF.
Yeah,
And
they
so-
could probably get pretty creative with that language.
Yeah.
You could probably go
Okay.
just outside of it and
Yeah.
it'll still be
We
okay.
don't have a lot of
Right,
options.
it's
in it.
just, does it make sense? So,
Okay.
how far south do you go? Because the majority of the calls that you're gonna run are on the north side of two. You
Now, if
know,
we could get a bunch of residential development, that's another.
All right, well,
I'm
at this,
working on it.
this stage, we're just kicking
Do we know
tires.
anybody?
We don't know just yet. We gotta wait another week or so to get some facts and then to get interpretation of what the heck all that bill says. I think it's gonna be another.
Between
several.
him and we try to check it daily to
Yeah.
me and,
Yeah, thanks, Tim, for being on.
yeah, he's been,
He's on it.
got it.
Monkey on a banana.
All I can tell you is I actually watched the committee hearing yesterday, and it's amazing to watch the number of guys on their phones or falling asleep or
Mhm.
whatever, but they're not paying much attention to what's being said, that's all I'm saying.
All right, are we good with all this now? All right, let's move on to brush truck, fire truck purchase update. Where are we at? Who's this? Will, are you
It's the
speaking?
will,
or-
it's the will topic.
Brush truck, so. We're waiting on what, an MOU? We're just waiting on Pete?
Well, Pete's been in discussion with Phil Garrett, but that's all I know. I think I know him
What's our deadline on the brush truck? Do we
any day.
It is already passed, but they haven't
called?
called.
Yeah, we've
to say,
not
hey,
gotten to that document,
They're
that final
They're
document.
running behind and it's to our benefit. at this
Yeah,
point.
right. So we're trying to think about it. Okay, but it could come just any time, right? Like, hey, you want it or not?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
What are we gonna say?
If we don't have an agreement, then it's
Okay.
Yeah.
What agreement with what now?
an MOU to provide the financing for that piece.
yeah.
With the county?
Yeah,
With the county? Okay.
That is gonna come out of TIF funds.
yeah, that's the agreement.
When's that deadline?
Oh, it's
We,
passed.
it's,
It should have been roughly
should have been done.
November, December,
right.
so we're just living on borrowed time at this point.
We're waiting for the fire truck company to contact us to sign off that, yep, put it into production. They have not done so yet because they're backed up with things. So,
I mean, so we're at the point where if they call tomorrow, we're not ordering the truck.
correct.
So Pete is on it to.
The
one way
MOUs
or
with
another?
the commissioners?
Yeah, well, RDC
Oh.
commissioner, I don't fully understand. It's the commissioners in the end, they have that
Okay.
authority.
They've had plenty of time.
Yeah,
So, you know
which
what?
I'm meeting with a member of the RDC in a couple weeks. Here, so.
So, well, on so we have other,
I'm gonna rub it in.
we have 3 other fire trucks though ordered,
Right.
and what's the date on that? So a couple
We
years
still have-
out?
Yeah, we still have.
That's a couple of years out.
Another year or
Okay.
two.
All right. Well, let's push that.
This is
to the
more
deadline
of,
too, see what happens.
I was gonna say, we'll be in the same boat.
We gotta have it. Okay, anything else? Well, on anybody got questions on the trucks or anything?
Not on the trucks, right?
Nope, that's last year.
Okay. All right, fire territory expansion. What do you got
Okay,
going?
so that, everybody would probably understand, we talked about small committee groups and how we can talk about fire tariff for expansion. We had a meeting with Keith the other day, and he brought up an interesting point is that we need to kind of find people that would be interested in this project to be able to go out to Wills Township, to Galena Township, to North Liberty, and have these conversations. Is anybody looking for fire protection in the form of a fire territory? And so Keith's idea would be is that we could find an active firefighter. We actually just started looking that would be willing to have conversations with trustees and boards and somebody from Hudson Township. I'm not saying it couldn't be one of you. I'm just saying, don't want to inundate people with meetings because meetings on top of meetings. Same thing, is there somebody from the town or Olive Township? just to be able to be reaching out to these communities to see, where you're at. We just saw that township consolidation could be coming in some form sooner than later. So, making sure that our citizens are still protected with what we've come to expect from fire service, versus being basically left to fend for yourself. We're trying to protect ourselves, right? I know one of the things that the town brought up is sustainability moving forward with how do we staff new stations? How do we can't really raise our levy to get to that point. So expansion is the other option. We do look around, and in St. Joe County, expansion is happening consolidation is happening in 2 different areas with fires in reference to fire service. So trying to prepare us for that step so we're not left without a voice to everybody's concerns. We don't want to get run over. So what I'm asking is that if you have people that you know of that would be interested in doing something like that, please reach out to me, call me, because we do need to do that. It's not that the fire chief can't go around do that. The problem is the fire chief is very jaded, right? I'm very protective of what we have. I have a very strong opinion of the services that we offer. And, when Kankakee would say, well, we could do that. Well, no, you can't do what we do. I promise you can't do what we do. I'm not saying that you're not capable. You don't have the resources that we have. You don't have the manpower that we have. You have volunteers, and the volunteers do very good. I'm not trying to take over areas that Kankakee, but this conversation is for elected officials to protect their citizens moving forward.
So all those towns you mentioned are not part of the fire territory, basically, is that what you're saying? They're just small townships.
No, what's going on right now are
Could possibly merge with us even or
Yes.
something.
'Cause
Okay,
right now is it
well,
Liberty, Green, and
Center
Center.
Township.
they're all that stuff
Yeah.
volunteer.
Yeah, how did that meeting go?
Paid, fire territory here, volunteer fire.
A lot of opposition
A mix.
from some.
Okay, so let me ask this question since we do have people. So 6 years ago, we were volunteer. Okay. Obviously, what we have now is a hell of a lot better than what we had then. I mean, let's face it. I mean,
Opinion.
well, as far as volunteers go, we had, I think, top-notch volunteers, but that's exactly what they are, volunteers, and they're not right here. I mean, back in the day, all the volunteers worked right here, so they got to here pretty quick. Now our volunteers are, out of town and things. So, I mean, I'm not putting them down or anything.
No,
They did everything they could. But let's face it, our times are a lot better. Anyhow, after I pulled my foot out of my mouth. So people going around to these smaller towns and they're questioning, what the taxes become then afterwards. So Will and Marcy and you guys down there, Dave, has it, like I'm on the tax cap, so I don't know. My taxes still stayed exactly the same when we got the fire territory. I've asked other people and I get smushy answers, but like, Will, would you say in the township, how much extra have people paid in taxes? Just, is there a way to tell? I know you live right in town too. It might be hard for you to know.
Yeah, it's hard for
Or,
me to tell.
I'm
I don't think that.
at my cap too. I'm in the county. And so
Yeah.
I see more when they reassess my house because
yeah,
the way they
that's
survive.
the only,
Probably
But
have to talk to like businesses and maybe like, I'd probably talk to like Jason White, if you talk to like Jason Wyckoff or, farmers and business owners that are in the township.
I will
That's
tell
why you
you,
gotta
they were at their cap too. Everybody was at their, I would say everybody's at their cap. But when we did that, there were some people, they would give you a value of, if you have a house $150,000 and below, you're not at your cap and you're going to see an increase.
those are the people that seem like,
So-
yeah.
And there are still pockets of those out there that would be affected. Now, what you do though is you go to say, and I'll just use Will's because they seem to be very ambiguous to this. They could or they couldn't, right? Their tax rate is low, and they don't have a fire tax rate. they pay, out of the township budgets for fire, and then they contract Kankakee. So they would see an increase.
And bitch about it. Well,
They would. I mean, it is.
scratch that. I was just told that.
Um,
Yeah.
but additionally, their taxes are going to, I'm not gonna say they're all at their cap, but Hudson's a good example. Hudson wasn't in the fire territory, and you guys saw an increase. I don't know what that
Was
was.
was it substantial for people?
I have no idea. I wasn't keeping track of.
Well, okay, but have we had a lot of people complain about it? Maybe that's an indicator. Have you, Marcy?
And we haven't had anybody else.
We haven't had, so I'm just saying, we got a lot. I'm not sure how it all got paid for. I wouldn't have believed it until like now I see it.
I'd say probably
So
the
those
biggest
people are in
complaint was
this-
from the library and the school.
Those people are in the same boat as what we were, and they're not gonna believe that you can put a fire station here and man it and everything, and then not, pay through the nose in your taxes.
Yeah.
Well, NIPCO's got it
Seems
all.
like that's
figured
what's
out
happened to all three of us. That's what I'm getting at. So, I mean, that's something that whoever we send there has to maybe understand that, or,
Yes.
that's the main point.
Yeah.
That
And-
decides
and-
everything.
Some of that stuff we can talk through and make sure that they have talking points. And I mean, it really, you guys are being leaders of the community. You have contacts throughout. I mean, Dave knows more people than anybody I know at this point. I mean, I don't know how you know that girl from Warren
Oh,
Township. Holy cow.
Is she good?
You know a lot of people.
Is she good looking?
What?
Is she good?
But again,
These are your-
you know,
Yeah, this technology, I'm not.
You never know what.
your parts of your political party. So that bleeds through. I mean, that does bleed through, and each of these, you go back to Wills, now you have Brian Gray, that's the trustee.
Oh, okay.
And so now, not using that as an in, but that's a good conversation to have.
He's
For one of
he's
you
a
guys.
trustee at Wills.
Yeah.
But I thought that we said that we couldn't cover it.
I'm just using it as an
Yeah.
example.
Example, okay.
Right. You know Jason Critchlow, that, we know Bobby Kay, we know all these people that, like they're spoken for that way. And we've already kind of decided that that's not a fit.
Have we?
Well, I don't know that we've decided that, but those conversations need to be fostered. And what I would say from a fire department level, you take the fire department out of it and let
Yeah,
it happen more organically, I guess.
I would say we basically have two options. I mean, because the Center Green Liberty, they're doing that, they're voting on that, is that this year?
Yeah, they'll-
That'll go into effect in 27. So I'd say that territory, and then we could probably continue discussions with Warren Portage, but this new bill could wipe out Portage potentially. That could get absorbed into the city, South Bend, which then Warren would just, come into us. We could merge in with Warren, which that would be great.
Honestly, I think that Warren, I don't know how happy Warren is.
Sure.
And again, that makes me nervous because you look at partners and regardless of history, the governing bodies have always gotten along on, save one trustee, have always gotten along. So I mean, that's the bit. You don't want to marry somebody that you only half like.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So I
Speaking of Warren,
would
real
say,
Any idea why did they put the old building up for sale?
It's up for sale
That's
because
kind of
the trustee wants to offload it.
I thought that was gonna be their community center.
up for
That
sale.
was the old trustee's idea, but the old trustee, who's the fire chief now, the person he wanted to be the trustee didn't get that position, and so now there's a rub.
It's right next door. Why would you give it up? That
It's-
makes zero sense. Zero.
I would agree.
Well, if it's true that there's a lot of opposition in the center to that little mix, is it possible that if center gets a lot of anger, we're not gonna do it, that Green and Liberty pivot and Want to just deal with us?
With, and Will and I have met with their leadership, and yes, even if that doesn't happen, they're still interested.
I think
In my
I think it
opinion-
could be a pretty easy conversation. Here's our tax rate. Are you guys even interested?
In my
Because
opinion,
if that's a no, then
the
Their
pres-
tax rate's actually gonna be higher.
presentation actually didn't have a whole lot of
50, there's $60.
the value
No, they,
to it.
we'll talk about it.
Didn't go in depth like what,
It was in
what
part of the
services are you gonna be providing? What,
presentation. We're all in
it
tax
was
rate.
just kind of very, all financial driven.
I don't know.
I think there's more education there that could be done that might actually help things go together. That's just my opinion from sitting there though.
Okay, well, let's do this. We're gonna have to wait on and see how this bill and all this, what all this means. Two, make sure whatever they decide, we find a way to get Hudson Lake still with us, okay? So we have to do what's necessary to make that happen. Three, then decide if, there's somebody we want to bring in from one way or the other, and then propose to them, if that will benefit them as well as us.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of the order I see things in right now. Does
And what-
anybody see anything different?
keep it fresh in everybody's head, and if you know people,
Yeah,
then let's start putting them on our radar.
yeah. And it may not be going to see a lot of different places. It might be we just really want this group to be with us, and we can see a future with them, maybe
So-
maybe two or something. So
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't be visiting all 5 or 6 and before we know what in the world we're even talking about here with this
Right.
bill.
do we try to set up a meeting with at least one representative of each government entity from like all of it? And we say once a month, we're gonna meet here. We're just all gonna get together, even if, Liberty, you're not even thinking about Portage or Warren. They're still gonna be invited and we're all just gonna meet, have discussions.
Yeah,
and-
after the bill and all that's decided,
Sure.
what the rules are, people
Sure.
understand it, then that might be good, because there might be something that we didn't think of that would, someone says, hey, maybe we could come with you, and we never
Yeah,
thought of
instead
that
of
before.
us saying we're gonna meet with this group
Yeah.
and this group, if we just get everybody together
But we're
and,
kind of in the middle of it anyway.
right, but I don't know, what do you?
It's good. It's a good idea.
Possibility.
Yeah, I mean, we've done something similar to that, but yeah, if we kind of, and we've said at that time, it was like, yeah, we're gonna keep this going, and then nobody ever does.
I think they want to get through their piece first. I think they
They're
will.
busy, yeah. Yeah, okay,
Okay.
I get that.
Well, we can invite them, well, and whoever is interested, will show up.
Yeah,
So, okay, well, we still have another month, I suppose, on them or whatever, to figure this out and understand it too. That's,
No matter what, it's done by March 14th.
yeah, but,
No
whether
matter
the
what,
people understand it or not, that'd be the next thing.
whether it's live, dead, whatever.
Yeah. All right, anything else on fire territory expansion for anybody? All right, let's move on. Next one, year-end report. What do we got going on
All
now?
right. See your little blue insert? So this is actually the first of its kind, right? This is our 2025 annual report, year in review, if you will. And I'd like to thank these two sitting right here, right? Well, Justin put all this together. Ted was providing a bunch of data real time. But y'all need to understand that they really came together just to kind of give you, a review of what we actually got accomplished in 2025. So I do appreciate them getting this done. I'm just gonna, kind of let you digest it. I do want to hit some high points. It kind of breaks down our mission statement, kind of gives all that. That's more of a community piece, right? So people that don't know what we do, how we do it, that kind of breaks that down. But we want to make sure that everybody understands our organizational structure. I think it kind of gets lost sometimes that how does Susie fit in? Your 3 shifts, how do the shifts fit in? This kind of coalesces that. and puts it in a roadmap for everybody to understand. It breaks down our daily staffing of 5. We have 5 full-time people on each shift. Everybody knows that we are full right now. We do have a part-time person that's not listed there, but we have a pretty good pool of part-time people that we got to choose from on a daily basis, and it stays pretty full at this point. So, breaks down how we got to where we are. 2020, we transitioned from volunteer to a career staff, and then in that, back to Jerry's point, when we started, we really only started with 10 people at first, right? Now we're sitting at 20. So collectively in 2026, we've doubled our staffing. I also want to point to that when people ask about sustainability, we're completely sustainable, right? We've done it responsibly. This board stays informed when I need something. We've been more than gracious to support us with that. That's how we do that. That's how we get there. That's how we add people. We keep ballooning, that's when that sustainability question comes into question. But right now we're doing pretty good.
But we have one Medic 92, so Medic 91, that's all of everything here, or that's just our state number, or what?
So 91 is our station number, so I have squad 91, engine
For
91.
the state though, I mean,
No,
for
No.
each fire station, the state has a different number or no?
In this county.
Oh, county,
So the way the county organization works together.
okay.
So Medic 92 is our reserve ambulance. So if it is in service,
Becomes
it,
91.
it could be the only one in service. The other one may be out for maintenance, or like today, we had a second call. South Bend Fire was dispatched as the ambulance. Me and Josh hopped in Medic 92 and took the run, disregarded them.
So that one page 2025 at a glance, your monthly report, that just kind of breaks it down so everybody kind of understands. Very prideful, though it's complete happenstance about what shift gets the most calls, but as you can see, the calls are pretty well spread out between all 3 shifts.
C shift time frame, that would be what time? Middle of the night?
No, C shift is that group of people are on, they work for 2 days and they're off.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
They're all on the same time, right?
yeah, yeah.
Start.
Yep.
24-hour shift, okay.
So yeah, that and it kind of breaks down the we have letters from all of us just kind of talking about our year and kind of what we've done, what we're striving to do, and
Don't you have like more rescues? And I don't see any here. I'm sure we have any. Is that not a thing?
right, but what kind of
Included in something else? Like
right? So a rescue can be during a motor vehicle accident. So it's really not its own qualified.
Okay. It's just thrown in there. All right.
Again, we're very proud of the training division. Those 2 pages are dedicated to training, but it breaks it down how we're training, right? 3,082 company training hours. Company training hours is a company can be an engine company, right? It breaks those hours.
Training.
Oh yeah, training. I'm sorry.
Company training is anything related to firefighting operation. And then it breaks it down to like officer training. So each officer is required to wait 12 hours of training a year, and then hazmat, and then you have your driver operator training. So we train everybody on all of that regardless, just because we rotate each seats all the time. So that's why there's so many hours all the time, because everybody's getting pretty much the same amount of training in every position.
Great.
The other piece is the certifications piece. Look at how many people that we've certified that are our people. Fire officer strategy tactics, 4 people received that certification. Fire officer 1, fire officer 2. That doesn't take into account, Justin got his associate's degree in paramedical science, EMS. Chad he's got his bachelor's in fire department administration or fire administration. So those are also things that are going on in the background. We are educating our people to the you guys don't have to worry. We're going to be the smartest dudes on the scene, dudes and ladies on the scene. So yeah, that's pretty pretty good. We motivate them through, A, they want to learn, but B, they get paid for certifications. They get paid for up to 4 certifications. So the more they learn, the more that we can reward them for that. That recruit piece for is also a very big deal for us. The first time we took 5 people off the street that had no training. We sent them through Clay's Academy, and there was some cost for that, but we did that. Out of those 5, 3 of them now work for us part-time, and they are outstanding.
Practically full-time, put in for.
I mean, every day
Lot
they
of
put it,
hours.
because they
And
love.
the other 2 are still testing.
Yeah, the other
So,
2.
yeah.
What's the reduction?
What's that?
Notice the reduction.
So like 6 years ago, when we first started, that was a big concern. I mean, where are we gonna get firemen from? It was like, and so that's not a problem anymore, or?
Well, the idea is,
Bigger problem.
well, it's a double-edged sword, right? We train these folks and we're getting our use out of them now, right?
Yeah,
But if we don't have a full-time position, we want them to go succeed. So if they go to a Penn or a Clay or a St. Joe County Fire Territory or any of those places, we're kind of giving back to that fire community, because at some point we're going to need them back. And they all say, we want to work here, we don't want to work anywhere else, and we appreciate that. But we also are in a time and day where firefighters were in a shortage because it takes so long to train them. So it's very minimal cost. We try to do as much as we can in-house. There's some things that are free that we absolutely take advantage of for that. And then, the EMT class is pretty important. That's $1,000. So that's, we make sure that when we budget for that there's plenty there for that. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty proud moment when we can stand up in front and talk about it, because the training division is hitting on all cylinders. EMS division, we don't
sorry.
EMS division is our bread and butter, right? We don't have an EMS chief. We have a kind of an EMS coordinator that we run through. Chad does most of the EMS stuff, and we're trying to identify early in their careers who could fill that role when it comes time to make that a full blown. But it is a division. There's just no chief in that division yet. We kind of task that out to the paramedics, and they do a really good job with that. But you can see last year, five certifications, 4 EMTs, 1 paramedic. We do have another
Be finishing this year,
should be finishing this year, paramedic,
and 2 more starting.
and then 2 more starting. Anybody new that hires into the New Carlisle Fire Department is required to go to paramedic school. Period. It is a cost to us, but in the end, we saw at the end of or middle to end of last year, when we lose a paramedic, it just starts. I mean, our budget starts to come across part of the seams, because we're paying out overtime, mandatory overtime, which is double time, and we're not built to sustain that. So if we educate them up front, if we have a paramedic go down, we don't ever have that problem. Additionally, it gives us flexibility as we do grow, that either we can staff a paramedic on an engine, so that we always have that level of care in the field. You're not waiting for the city of South Bend or somebody else. So we're just kind of preparing ourselves for the future with that piece. Community risk reduction division, as everybody knows, the fire marshal Zach is the head of that division, and that's still forming as we speak, right? I mean, community risk reduction is a whole lot more than just inspections. This year, as we're part of our goals, is to do a community risk analysis. Where are we at most risk in our community, and how can we help that with what we have? So that you'll see that coming, middle to end of this year, as we start to formulate that and get that together. Inspections are part of that. Very inundated at Amazon, but we're going to start splitting up some of those inspections to we have quite a few inspectors at this point, and we will be out in the field doing those annual inspections for everyone. That last, second to last page is just the stats for community risk reduction last year. We should see that ballooning in 2026, and then just that's just the end there. Those are all things. You know, we always keep Jamie and Bob close. That's why that picture's there. It's always going to be there. That's why we do what we do. That's it.
Very nice report.
I do have Marcy and Will. I have one for Hudson Lake. I just don't know what you're going to do with it. You guys can put one at the town hall so if people, residents want to come in and take a look at it. It's going to be on the website. Our website is being migrated from one platform to another platform. So you're going to see a new website coming up in. It's already on our website.
Are we getting a lot of car seat installations and inspections and things?
That's on the goal for this year. Me and Clint are only car seat inspectors, so I'm trying to get more
Yeah,
inspectors this year. But
they're hard to get in there. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd think they'd get easier, but
Well, we have people
complicated.
stop by, but we're supposed to have the kid with us. And
Yeah.
usually lately it's just, well, my wife's having a kid like this weekend.
yeah.
So I tell them, hey, come back with the kid,
Brand
and
new.
we can actually do
Yeah.
a car seat install.
And actually, I just thought about it. We should come up with a message to send out. We have to really put it out on Reach Alert because honestly, every time she does that about smoke detectors, we get a huge influx.
That's great.
Yeah, so I
Good
mean,
to know.
it'd be a good way to
Yeah, that's
spread the message.
We will be hosting an event, I think, a couple events this year at our station too.
We're also trying to look at, you know, community CPR. CPR is not completely expensive, but it's not completely cheap. But I think that we're going to try to do our first ever community CPR event. Where we'll probably limit it to 30 people, and then we'll certify those and get those people will get cards. Just as we'll try to build that program. We do CPR throughout the year, and we collect money for that. And we're gonna try to reinvest that money into that program because the more people that are trained, the better for everybody. So
Very good.
great.
All right. A very good little booklet here. So we're on the old business. Do you have anything? How's our drone deal going? Have we come up with anything that's been very helpful for, or we're still getting trained on it, or where are we at?
A little of all that.
Yeah.
So
Are you the
it's
main pilot?
currently, yes. The software on it has so many different options and stuff. It's
Mhm.
learning each of them. We've had it up at 2 fires, I think. And one of them in particular is beneficial, the high contents house, also known as the order house.
Oh,
And it actually
That's what
helped.
we call it now.
yeah, high
content?
context.
You see,
I didn't know what that was.
I could tell,
My mind.
I could
Now
tell
I have
the
another
wheels
name
turning.
for the
Yeah.
house.
But we had the
yeah, I'll bring it.
we had it up there and actually helped find where the seat of the fire was. Since we couldn't really get people in there. It's Justin's got a nice rescue class going on. Out
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
at Hudson starting tomorrow and
Yeah.
over the weekend, or does it
Starts,
skip up next week?
What do you have
Tomorrow.
for training?
yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
guess, ice,
Yeah, go figure, huh?
yeah, I figured. It's about.
February, yeah, it's
Yeah.
6 degrees.
Well, I mean,
Have we had anybody fall through water to do anything with
We
the
have
last?
not, but Warren Township, St. Joe County Fire Territory, they actually just had one yesterday.
oh,
Actually fell through, successful rescue.
Wonderful.
and then
And our
Yes,
they
boat
drove the truck.
responds for that,
2
so
weeks
they
ago.
were, our boat was over there.
Hudson Lake's pretty popular, I mean, as far as fishing and,
Oh, yeah.
especially during the
So
time.
I went out last Saturday and flew the drone over the lake to see if there's any shanties out or anything, given the fact that we're gonna be getting a warm up. I didn't see any surprisingly, but you can tell where people have been driving across, with, I don't know if it's snowmobile or ATV. It looks more like ATV because it's in the center track, but there was a narrow 2-track. But yeah, so we're,
Somebody lost theirs
it's
last
a matter of
week.
when.
I thought I heard somebody drove an ATV into the lake.
One dock that was stuck out in the water.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you are prepared. I mean, let's say we had a lost child. You're
Yep.
on it.
Yeah, and the other piece is we're trying to work with other agencies to come up with a drone team or a drone task force. Because say we have a fire, right? In town, God forbid that happens, but it does. Well, our resources to say, hey, Chad, I need you to put the drone up, it takes one of our resources away. So the idea is that there are several drones in our county that are like ours. And we're gonna call for that resource like we would call for a fire truck, and they would send a drone and a drone operator over. And in turn, we would do the same thing for them. So we're still working through that piece.
Yeah.
And that goes along with that software that we have for it. It's not a cheap software, but it is the same software that the other agencies in the county are using. So if South Bend would come out here, or I go to South Bend, I'm on the same software, which means I can share what our drone is showing to them easily, and it works back and forth. So that's kind of the point of, even though it's expensive, there's interoperability that it builds there.
Okay.
I did have another point of old business, Jerry.
Okay, sure.
We met 2 nights ago with the town about the expenditure for having the program study what the presentation was on a couple weeks ago. And they're going to vote on that joint resolution. Additionally, I'll give you a copy of the joint resolution. We would like that passed as well by Hudson. It's just saying that we can do an additional appropriation for funding.
Hey, so Hudson has to vote on Olive and New Carlisle, and then we have to vote on it? Or
No.
no, then
No, one.
I don't think Dave knows about that.
Oh, you weren't here.
for
He
the-
wasn't here last
He
meeting.
wasn't here that day.
the deal.
So we are wanting to put out RFP and RFQ to get interested parties to come in and give us a design and programming. So some light schematic design and some programming for a new fire station. And that funding would come from our savings that we have the money sitting in our cash fund. So again, no more burden on the taxpayer, but the idea there is so that we can be in position for when the county bonds money to pay for a new fire station.
You understand it all right?
They have to have a solid number before they can put the bond.
Before I ask for money, I have to
Yes,
know.
on your town, your board there.
Pardon me?
Who else is
So
on the
we-
board? Like
Andrew.
5 people?
No,
No,
Three?
no, it's three
Austin's
and then
the
Austin.
Austin.
Austin trustee, it's me, Tuska, Roger Tuska, and then Rich Kaczynski.
Austin knows about it. I think he was in
Yeah,
on all
I was
that.
gonna say, because if they don't vote it in, then you can't go, right?
So we need to vote it in from Hudson.
Yes, sir.
And
All 3 parties have to.
yeah,
Yeah.
how much money wise?
It's not to exceed $30,000.
Okay.
Yep.
Just quick question. So we agree. And then what if the bond doesn't come through? We wasted $30,000.
No, the design is ours, right? And that's there is risk, right?
Yeah.
I'm not telling you there's not risk.
Right.
But the design is ours, so we would be seeking alternate funding sources for that.
We have,
We would
yeah,
lease that architecture.
And we don't have to come up with any additional money. It's just approving them of using
the
Money.
money
money
that,
that they already have.
so it's money
Have
that's,
to have that so they know how much to bond. That's basically why we have.
so it's money that we have in the bank account. It just wasn't in the budget. Right? And so we're not asking for more money from the taxpayers. It's just reserves from previous years.
Yeah, yeah.
And so basically we have our opportunity is going to be running out to get a fire station funded by the county through the TIF district that would go out here in the IEC that would cover that area, because if not, then the taxpayers are going to have to foot the bill for, additional services that we're pumping into that area.
my gut, my brain's just telling me one thing, if they're already dragging their feet on funding the trucks, they're basically gonna go in that bill. Are we not worried?
My belief is that it's part, that the trucks are part of the bond as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Was that
but,
right? Sorry, the MOU is the dragging of the feet.
right,
It's just, and I know Marcy has concerns about the MOU. So we have to.
Yeah,
So
I'm just thinking, because
Yeah.
we want to spend 30 grand for a study that we may not get money for,
Plans,
Well,
Yeah,
you know.
we're,
complete plans.
it's conceptual plans, so it's not plans that you can go to construction on, but it's enough to get budget numbers, budget pricing,
Okay.
that we could then go to the county and to the redevelopment commission, right? Because they're the ones that actually approve that. So what we're trying to push this for is because the county has other projects, right? And so what we
wanna
don't want
get
to
in
do is
before the
keep
other
waiting
projects.
for
along
the
with-
county to say, okay, now it's time. They're not going to say, okay, now it's time. We need to push our way into that, into line, into the line and actually push our way into the front.
And it takes a hard
so
number to do it.
basically, we're spending $30,000. We've already got the money available. We will get plans, which are valuable, probably not 30,000, and we'll have a small risk then of some money to hopefully save ourselves $10 to $15 million probably.
Over 20.
Over $20 million is what 3 fire trucks and a station.
When do we need to vote on it in Hudson
Next
Township?
meeting.
Well, you do have a little time. When's your next meeting?
Ours was last week, so 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's time.
Okay.
There's not a lot of pressure. What I
There's a lot of
don't,
pressure and time. You need to do it the next meeting.
right, but what I'm saying is,
Don't drag your feet on this.
Friday, Dave, I did just sent you the link to the video
Okay.
of the meeting,
Oh,
in January when they did that presentation.
Yeah,
The
and what- I
presentation
was trying to get that in
shows in
another
that
special
video,
meeting.
the only thing you won't be able to see is what he did up here drawing on the board for demonstration purposes, but you'll still hear.
Okay. Appreciate that.
And then we're happy to come to the meeting and answer questions.
All right.
Yep, cool, absolutely.
Basically, we're trying, and then part of that bond, what we would ask for in the bond is getting our 30,000 back. So,
yeah,
yes,
Well, there you go.
Right.
That sounds good.
if nothing else, we should at least get that.
Plus interest, right?
no, I want all of it.
Well, yeah.
How about that software you're talking about for the drone?
Yeah, you know what? Would it hurt to put in the bond, other things that we might need? I mean,
Well, I would tell you part of that. There's
that's an
some,
idea.
we have a meeting tomorrow, with Jake again. And Jake is gonna be putting pressure on Carl to get this deal done. So we're applying all pressure that we can.
Yeah.
Jake?
This Jake.
Would it
To Carl
hurt
and
to
the
look at
redevelopment
things?
commission,
Well,
and we're trying to, basically, we have to go around certain people that aren't getting things done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So without,
So would it hurt to things that the town, the township and, well, Hudson Lake through the fire territory has spent extra because of industry and the TIF out there? Would it hurt to throw that under the bond too? I mean, we're talking $200,000-$300,000.
As
but
part
still.
of our ask, you mean?
Yeah.
My initial thought is I wouldn't push it, but
Alright.
that's just me.
I can't, same thing, but
Go big or go home.
We can always say no.
When we get to that point, we can have that discussion.
My uncle told me something when I was a teenager. My dad was on a truck or on the road driving a truck. So my uncle kind of helped raise me. I asked my uncle one day, and I'll never forget this. My uncle's.
We're on the air, by the way, now.
Yeah, oh, no, it's a good story. I asked my uncle, I said, "Hey, I'm looking at buying this vehicle." I said, "What do you think?" He said, "I have no idea." So I don't know anything about that vehicle. He said, "I don't know what they're worth," but he said, "I can tell you this." He said, "If you make an offer and he accepts it, you started in the wrong spot."
Yep.
He said, "You started in the wrong place." Like, man, I've never forgot that. So,
Well, I will say that we've been hammering the county over this stuff, and so we have conceded some things that we've asked them for. I mean, we conceded the fire marshal that we were going for funding on.
Yeah, that.
Now we stole their commercial building inspector,
Building
so
inspector, we still have, because
That was
that's where it
cool.
came from, so.
yeah. So I think hopefully, I don't know if they're learning or not. It doesn't appear. So, but that's ammo that we could use though. Look, we've already paid for this. You guys did this and you wouldn't help us out. So we had to do it ourselves.
Do we have our list, Marcy, of things that we've done on only because of
Right.
industry? No, we don't have a comprehensive list of that.
I'm still not giving up on the community center, just to let you guys know. So I think we're at what, 55 million? It's a lot better than 300 where I started. So
For 300,
Okay.
all right.
right.
How about new business or any more old business for somebody or anything? All good. Okay, how about new business? Where we at with that? Anything?
Wait till Will gets through his list.
Right now?
He's looking.
Oh, gee.
I ever see him get his phone out, I'm like, I better sit down.
I do have something to talk to you guys about after the meeting, but and then just this whole expansion of the IEC. So I've received an email that Bill's trying to do something with the IEC, and I don't understand it. Like how did they say it?
They have a lot of buzzwords in there, but I'm calling it the IEC expansion.
Yeah, like
They call it
redefining.
2.0, you know that.
Yeah, like redefining the boundaries of the
Yeah,
IEC
And-
or for
They've already
development.
done that.
so,
There
yeah,
are-
and so I've requested that New Carlisle be a part of this,
Yeah.
Discussion.
yes.
So I texted a member of the redevelopment commission. I think that you received that email probably that I sent was it Tyler? So I texted a member of the RDC when I heard that they were meeting that day. I think it was like 5 minutes before the meeting, basically saying, we're opposed to any changes to the IEC. Town of New Carlisle and Olive Township want to be involved in any discussions involving doing anything different with the IEC than what's already.
so expand what?
We don't know.
Are you talking about?
Because nobody's talked to us. He just goes to the
They
commission. and-
hired, did they hire the Antero group
I think so.
to do it? I
I don't know.
think.
I'm
And
clueless.
there's to do a study on,
Oh my gosh.
They studied some stuff.
on increased needs of the IEC and what they need to do.
Are we
I
talking
mean,
about an increase over the 22,000 acres at the second phase of the development that we're in now? I mean, because that's what it was originally, is 22,000.
we don't know exactly.
Did they get that approved for funding for this thing?
Oh, they passed it at the RDC, and I didn't stay for the commissioners, but the commissioners, I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure.
once they
it
pass
is.
it, it's-
They
Yeah,
rubber stamp whatever.
yeah. So,
Hmm.
so I'm hoping we can sit at a table sooner than later.
Well,
Can you say who you got the email from?
it was his name Tyler?
Yeah, he's a young guy that's going to.
Yeah, I'm trying to meet up with him.
With
So I've
the
never
IEC?
met the
Oh.
guy, but
Oh,
he's like on top of certain things, and then he'll get like a letter, and then he sends it out to Shalio, but he'll carbon copy sometimes just me or sometimes me and Marcy.
Oh, that's,
He's a
not
buddy,
Tyler. It's,
he's a buddy of Randy Pig and Joe Thomas, who are a couple of county councilmen here. And he's a young guy, but he's really excited.
But he's in this area,
Right,
right? So I'm trying to meet up with him to see what.
well, stay up on that and
Story.
keep us posted. I mean,
Huh?
You met him
Yeah.
last year
that's a little scary.
when you were at the tent.
I can't remember that.
Are you getting
Are you
old?
crazy? I can't remember what I did
Riley
yesterday.
Thompson.
Riley Thompson.
Riley Thompson.
Yeah.
That there.
Do you
Hey,
remember
I was
Riley?
gonna say, he's one of our students.
Yeah,
And Riley
What
said,
Uh,
what is he?
He just is a concerned citizen.
Oh, really? He's not elected or
He's a
anything?
concerned citizen and he's been taken under the wing of Randy Quaid and Joe Thomas.
Oh.
And they've got him all excited about this stuff.
I know, that was the first I heard about that, was that email. So maybe you forwarded it to me. That's
I
correct.
think I
Yeah,
did, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So if any of you guys hear anything about it, just,
I've asked somebody to look into it for us.
okay. Yeah, we should just get Bill Shalio a badge or something that says Mayor of New Carlisle, because he apparently
Yeah.
gets to make all the decisions of what,
What's good
happens in
for us.
Olive Township and New Carlisle, so. I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna get a name tag made up. And I'm just gonna put it around his neck.
Supreme Commander.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Let's get one of those hats with propeller on the top.
Kind of like the boy with.
Okay, we regress. What, any
Yes.
more new business? Since we have none?
No, sir.
Okay,
Motion to
Mike
adjourn.
or Mike? Bob?
Second.
Oh, you let him?
He beat me.
What is going on over here?
He had a plan. He kept on with the plan.
That's a
All right,
John-
been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning?
Hi.
Aye.
Next meeting, March 19th,
March
5:30.
9th. Motion carried. Thank you very much, everybody. Good job.
Bill will be decided by.
Will, I know what you want to.
Steve Dar's the key, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I just had some questions
Yeah.
about that. I think I know what you want to.
about the property.